Let's imagine a scenario for a minute. Maybe it's one you've lived through, maybe you're there right now. Everyone gathered together for a holiday. You're sitting at a beautifully decorated table. The candles are lit, the lights are twinkling. The food that took days to prepare looks and smells delicious. And yet there's this hollow ache in your chest. Everyone else is laughing and passing the rolls and talking over each other, completely oblivious to your pain, your stress, the reality that you're living, or even how lonely you feel sitting at that table. Meanwhile, you're sitting there doing all you can to quiet that internal struggle that I think a lot of us know too well. You're trying to be present. You're trying to put on a good face. You're trying not to cry. Maybe you're even trying not to collapse in exhaustion and trying to be grateful and trying not to feel guilty for the heaviness that is sitting right alongside joy. If you've ever wondered why you can be sad and grateful all at the same time, or maybe why some celebrations feel bittersweet, you're in good company. More importantly, there is nothing wrong with you. You are human, and this is a perfectly normal thing. Today, we're diving into that great holiday paradox of how grief, gratitude, and celebration can all exist together, especially in a season that expects joy and connection and sometimes is portrayed as perfection. That scenario I just shared, that was me. Not just once, but for a lot of years. Before everything finally shattered, back before healing happened, back before I learned how to take charge of my own well being. And what I think a lot of people don't realize is there's no such thing as bad emotions. Feeling however I felt didn't make me bad. They didn't make me weak. They didn't make me unpleasant or demanding or too much. They're normal. Emotions are a complex part of being human. And yes, they can clash, but they don't cancel each other out. Grief isn't the opposite of gratitude, and sorrow isn't the opposite of it either. And neither one mean that you can't still celebrate and have some fun. When it's all said and done, grief is a natural response to love, to loss, to change, and to transition. Gratitude is simply recognizing that there's good that still remains in spite of what's gone and in spite of what's changed. And celebration is the act of honoring the moments that still matter. Each of these are different emotional systems, and research has actually shown that we can experience conflicting feelings simultaneously. So if you've ever felt sadness and joy at the same time, that's not dysfunction. And nor does it mean that whatever happened or whatever was lost didn't matter. It's just emotional complexity, and it's a normal part of being human. Maybe there is an empty seat at the table. Maybe the relationships you hoped would heal have not. You're grieving who isn't there, but you're grateful for who is. And let's be honest, maybe you're even grateful that the people that are causing all the drama aren't there. Even if you love them with your whole heart and wish things were different, wish things could be different, it's totally okay to be glad, to be away from the drama, to be away from the contention, and to just let things be for a little while. It's not being disloyal, it's not being disrespectful. It just means that we're grateful for the peace that exists in the distance. I got a little secret for you. They're probably actually feeling the very same thing. So there's no need to bottle yourself up or make yourself feel sad when they're probably grateful they're not there too. It's okay to honor the aching and still notice that there's good stuff going on around you. You can still show up and be present for the people that are there, even if it's a completely different group than has ever been together before. That's us this year. Nothing in our life looks the same as it used to. Those large, noisy, joyful family gatherings that I used to love, they're a thing of the past for us now. And the further I get along in my healing journey, the more I realize those things were probably gone for many years before they actually ended. I know that people were trying. I tried. I know that other people tried. We tried to make them work. We tried to keep them growing, but they were never the same as they were back when I was younger, especially as it became more obvious that there was increasing tensions that were simmering below the surface. Honestly, some of my favorite memories happened way back when Grandma was still here. She was the glue that kept everyone together. She freely spilled love out on all of us. She made all of us feel like we were her favorites, even when she knew that there was simmering tension between her two daughters and that they didn't get along. And I don't know that she ever could have foreseen what happened in that relationship. Or maybe she knew, I don't know. At my house, we're finally in a place where we're ready to break out of some of those old molds. I live in an area that's very family oriented, and a lot of our friends, a lot of our neighbors, and a lot of the people around here have a lot of family around. Good for them. I hope it's joyful and I hope it works. We don't have anyone, and in our case, that's by choice. It's what we needed for our healing. But when the holidays and special events roll around, it does kind of get a little painful to remember that we are alone. But yet, it's also opened the doors for us to seek out others who likewise don't have any family, who don't have any support. Maybe who've hit some hard times, or life has just beaten them down too, and they just need a soft place to land. And this year, our holiday table will be full of those people. And we are very grateful for that. I think a lot of times we tend to feel like we're really alone in all of this. Maybe that we're different, that we just don't fit in anywhere. But that's not true. Once we started intentionally looking for people that were alone, that didn't have a place to go, that didn't have a lot of family around, it wasn't hard to find them. And most of those people who are coming have been profoundly grateful for the invitation because they didn't want to be alone either. As these holidays roll around, especially here in the United States where they're stacked one on top of the other with Thanksgiving and then Christmas, it's fine to be wherever you are. If you're not in a place where you can bring lots of people in and go seek out people who need support, that's great. I wasn't there either for a long time. Honestly, this is the first year we've been able to do it ourselves. So maybe this is your time to cocoon yourself in gentleness and peace. Maybe your new thing is saying, no, we're not doing that anymore. And you're going to choose to be alone, to enjoy some downtime, to enjoy a day with no expectations, obligations, no running around, no demands over how the turkey is cooked. And maybe you don't have to do anything or be anything. And let me tell you, I've had some years like that and they can be just as wonderful. Another way these mixed, complex emotions can show up is maybe you're exhausted from holding it all together, but you're still doing the best you can to choose joy. You're still the one who's bringing all the magic. And my goodness, was this ever my grandma? She taught me how to do it. She had a really rough life. And I didn't realize even until I was an adult how hard it was. But she was always the one who sprinkled the magic on everything. And the cool thing is, there's room for all of this. Healing doesn't mean an absence of grief. Celebration doesn't mean an absence of sorrow, or honestly, even anger for that matter. It doesn't mean we have to pretend we're fine when everything is hard. It means learning how to live fully, even with the ache. I guess the moral of the story is it's totally okay to feel whatever you feel. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to run away from it. And the fact that you're still feeling anything means you're not dead yet. And that's a good thing. You don't have to choose just one emotion. You're allowed to celebrate, even if you're missing somebody. You're allowed to have joy, even if somebody else thinks you're a witch. You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to have friends. You're allowed to have people around you. And you're allowed to surround yourself with support. You're allowed to be a beautiful contradiction. And it's totally okay if your entire life right now is beautifully messy. As we approach this coming holiday season, I hope that you can remember to let the celebrations that lie ahead remind you that joy is still possible, it's still accessible, and it's still available to you, even in this season of loss, of estrangement, of transition. It's all still there. You still matter, and there's still great good in the world. So go find it and go make it happen.